Hi, thanks for tuning in here today. Today we're going to be doing a nice little fun painting. I hope you can follow along with me. Let me have them run the colors across the screen that you'll need to paint along with me. While they're doing that, let me tell you what I got done on my canvas. I have my regular 16 by 20 inch canvas, pre-stretched, double primed, and I added a thin layer of the liquid white. Rather than that, it's slick, it's wet, it's ready to go, and we could get started with today's painting. All the brushes and palette knives you're gonna see, they're all with this design. If you're wondering what brand, they're probably Bob Ross or Bill Alexander. While I'm talking, I'm mixing up a little bit of phthalo blue and bright red. They're probably uh, Bob Ross or Bill Alexander, but I chose to do a design on all my tools. So you cannot find a tool that looks like this where you can just buy it right off. So just in case for the new people who are watching, if they look at the video and say, oh, I like that palette knife or I like that brush, they're all customized by me. None of them I bought straight like this. So mixed up a little bit of bright red and phthalo blue and just loading it up onto my 1 inch and 2 inch. And I added a little bit of white in that color, but I didn't want to do so much. I want a nice dark sky today. I want it to show color and look nice and strong. Usually all my other skies with phthalo blue are nice, soft, warm skies. This one, maybe the storm's coming in. Maybe. Just go across. Go up and down a bit. Cross one more time just for good luck. And you're good to go. Now, let me grab a good 1-inch brush. Make sure it's nice and dry. And just load up your brush. Now, let's come up here. I'm going to show you guys a little trick. If you want to put in a cloud without it mud mixing, you come up here and you can outline your cloud using your palette knife. So let's say like that. Then you can scrape off, treating it like a mountain. Okay? And you can go in with your paint, and that allows for there to be less paint, making it easier and just less time of you agonizing over something not working. Let me just wipe off my brush just so I kind of have a cleaner brush. But with the same 2-inch, I'm just going to go top corner and go in circles at the base. Lift up, go across. Now let's do that same technique, maybe just using the corner of your knife just to scrape out a little design, and you use the whole palette knife, use pressure to scrape out that paint. Okay? And with the loaded brush, I'm loading it up with titanium white. With the loaded brush, you just come up here and load that color up. It's like a coloring book almost. You already did the drawing part. You just need to fill it in after you remove that color. Because that's where I noticed some people might struggle, is with doing that, because the colors will blend and not everyone wants it to blend and they agonize over it. Lift up and go across. Now let's go ahead let's pile up this paint over here to the side. Right over here. It doesn't really matter. And let's go into some mountain mixture. Just cut a roll of paint on the edge of your knife. Now let's come up here. I don't want mountains too big. I don't want the Tetons. I just want little small indication that there's a few little mountain ridges out over there. I'm not making it crazy shapes, but if you want a big crazy mountain, you put in your big crazy mountain. When you're painting, you're in control. There. Just scratch off that paint, and you can even scratch off a little bit of that sky color too. That won't hurt you at all. Now let's come up here, align your brush to the top edge, drag and pull. You can create your angle. You can make it more wider or keep it as you initially planned. All up to you. Shoom. Look, this one, maybe it goes a little wider out there. And just do the same thing. And right here, people say it's also done to kind of shape your highlights. To me, that never worked, I'm gonna be honest. But maybe it works for you guys. So try it out and see if it works or not. Because some people like doing things different ways. And I'm not here to tell you this is the only right way. I'm here to show you what I know. And you can add on from there. So I'm just marbleizing a little bit of blue with mountain mixture and white. Just a little bit of everything really. Just to see what I can really play around with in this painting. So cut a roll of whichever shade of color you have and just very lightly touch. And when you feel it kind of grab that paint, then you just, all you're doing is just directing that palette knife. That's all you're doing, directing it. Shoom. Let me pile up the paint and flatten out a bit just to make my life easy. Shoom. There we are. Maybe out here. A bit of light would kiss that. And a few little, you can also tap it. Now, let's go ahead, mountain mixture, and just mix that up. Let's add a little bit of a bright red. A little more mountain mixture. You mix up the shade you want. If you're used to the Bob Ross look where it's more like a light blue, you do that. I used to do like a dark gray. If you want to do that, do that. Right now for this painting, I'm going to do like a lavender. It's like a lavender gray color. Shoom. You know what? Let's push that peak back. So just push and following the angle. Okay. There we are. Okay. Shoom. What I like to do is marble up some color and just add a little bit of darker. That way it makes your mountain stand out more than what it initially did. Okay, just tap. All you want to do is diffuse it. So you're tapping lightly and following the angle. You don't want to destroy all the work. Now, when I say angle, it's the angle in which you pull the palette knife of the paint or whatever you want to think about it, and just very gently. I like to go with the top corner and just very gently, like you barely even want to touch it. That's how gentle to me. Okay, let's go ahead. Let me make some space up in my palette. Now, let's go ahead. Let's go into a little bit of mountain mixture through with my 1-inch brush. Just dirty old brush. And maybe there lives a few little distant bushes that just cover up. You want to leave some of that mist to add perspective to it. Just make it look more further back. That way your paint doesn't look flat. There you are. Few little things, just shoop. Okay. Before I get too ahead of myself, let's get a little bit of that same sky color and just add in a little bit. We might add in, after all, a little area there. Let's go into cadmium yellow with my same dirty 1-inch brush and just very lightly just highlight your bushes. Shouldn't take much pressure at all. If you're having to push your paint into the canvas, that means your paint isn't thin enough, and you should add liquid white, any mediums, linseed oil, any of that, or paint thinner or terpenoid, any thinner. If you're gonna do thinner, I highly recommend you use a mask and you use gloves. What else? You can do many alternatives. There's lots and lots of mediums. Let me add a little bit of sap green to my color. There's lots of mediums in order to avoid the need of paint thinner. I add a little bit of mountain mixture as well to my color. Oh, that's a nice darker green. Few little here and there, but just think of each little bush. There. Right around here. Shoot, let's have a sparkler one. We're gonna go into a little bit of bright red, a little bit of cadmium yellow, gives you a nice orange right here. You wanna put it around the center, that way it leads the viewer's eye into it. There. Let's do a brighter one. Maybe over here. Because when they see it, then they're gonna go, wow, green, green, green. Wait, why is it red? Why is it orange? And it catches the viewer's eye. Okay. A little bit more color up in here. There. Maybe a few little spots here and there. Just wherever you think you really decide. Now, let's go ahead. Let's go into a little bit of that dark color that we use for our mountain. And we're gonna come up here and just add in a little bit of grass, a little bit of grassy land. I only care about that outside edge. Okay. Load up my brush once again and tap it. There. There we are. Now, let me go ahead, grab a little bit of bright red, a little bit of sap green. As you may know, red and green turn brown. We're gonna make a little dirt color, a little more green. You can choose if you want your color more to the green side, more to the red side, or you can add black and make it more darker. You could add white, make it lighter. All up to you, really. When you're mixing this up at home, you decide. Look, maybe a little bit of mountain mixture into this color. Gives me a nice color. Now, I'm gonna put a part a little bit into that little bit. I'm gonna add more black just to really darken it and use it as my base color. Let's come up here, and maybe it's just dirt kind of just sticking out, laying out. There. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. You could just connect the grass to the water. But I've gone crazy. I've been told that a couple times before. A little bit of white, but it's okay. I can get away with being a little crazy. And very gently, shoom, following the angle of how you want the lay of your land. Okay? Okay. A few little things here and there. Now, let's go ahead. A little bit of sap green on my 2-inch and load up with cadmium yellow. So pull out the paint and you're gonna push some paint into your bristles. Let's come up here. Very lightly, just shoom. There we are. We'll come back and add a little bit more. But first, I just want to sort of get a few little spots down first. Then we can move on to the main thing. Just tap. Okay. Just like that, you have yourself some land and a little bit of a background. So now, what I want to do is go into a little bit of lighter color, just pure cadmium yellow, and think of where the light would kind of sparkle. So a few little of those, because if you put it everywhere, and it'll just blend in and it'll leave you, it'll lose you. So just Don't want to overdo it. Few little extra highlights. There we are. Maybe it goes back there. Maybe over here. Just boom. I always like to put a little extra highlight towards the end. Now, let's come up here and I want some of my dirt to kind of come up through the grass and just shoot a little bit here and there, and there. Maybe a little bit over here. Okay. So now what we're going to do is load up my 1-inch brush. So what you want to do is pull some paint through it and wiggle it and pull it straight through, and that will chisel your brush. That will make it come to a sharp point. Let's come up here. You got to reload it. Maybe this one has little brother. And maybe let's make one right here. And all I'm going to do is wiggle the brush once again and pull it through the paint. Now, you want to push your handle down. You don't want it up. Unless you're doing the leaves up. Alright, think about it this way. Whichever way you want your leaves to face, that's the way your handle should be facing. So, since I want my evergreen tree with the leaves facing down, I'm going to put my handle down. But if I want the leaves to be facing upwards, then I'll put my handle facing upwards. So, depending what tree. There we are. Make sure you load your brush each and every time. Very, very important. There. Let's do another one. The Three Musketeers right here. There we are. Very, very simple. All you gotta do is just start and keep going. Not too hard. People are afraid because of the size of the brush, but it's the same thing as any other brush. Actually, today I put away all my fan brushes, so I just left myself with 2 foliage brush, couple 1-inch and 2 inches. That's all you need, really, and palette knives. So I'm showing you how you can do a whole painting with basically just a palette knife, 2-inch and 1-inch. And the 2-inch does the same thing as the 1-inch and vice versa. It's just I like the 2-inch for like the sky and all that because it just makes life quicker. And like the 1-inch for like trees and bushes. You can even paint mountains with the 1-inch. Okay, now a little highlight right here, just to the little side of the tree. Just tree has to have some light. Can't have it left out. There. Let's do the second tree. There we are. Just tap, tap, tap. And our third and last evergreen right over here. Just tap it out. I like to think about it as you're doing the same thing. All you're doing is just tracing and following the pattern you already laid out for yourself. There we are. So now what I want to do is let's go ahead and pull your brush through one direction. Let's come up here and just make a shape of a bush. However you want your bush to look, that's the way it's going to look. Okay, now let's go ahead and pull my brush through cadmium yellow one direction. Let's come up here and just, as you see, doesn't take much pressure. Load up a little bit of bright red just to change the color and make it stand out, because there's so much green and you want to make your colors stand out and pop. Well, depending what you want people to focus on as well, but you want to change the colors. Don't just put all green. And if you're doing fall, where it's lots of oranges, lots of reds, put some green in it. You have to do a little bit of color variation in order for things to stand out. Now let's scratch a few little sticks and twigs in the bushes. Just few little things. Okay, and now let's go ahead. Let's grab my palette knife. We're gonna do a little cabin. So a little bit of that brown, adding a little bit more mountain mixture to it. Cut a roll of paint, nice little roll. Let's come up here and maybe our cabin lives right there. There we are. You just gotta decide and stick with it. Okay, now let's highlight it. Same thing, just very lightly. Shoom. Few little boop. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more white to the brown and just, there we are. And I'm going to tone down that color just a bit. Color variation is the key to everything coming together nicely. Okay, nice little door. Okay, and maybe there's a little fence just here. There, little highlight for that fence. Maybe even there's a little path. Okay, highlight the path. And let's go ahead, finish up a few little grassy details. Before we end this, we have to add a little bit of details to the water. So cutting a roll of white, just go in there and really scrub it. Just scrub that paint. There we are. Few little ripples here and there. And if you wanna be a little creative, you can go into a little bit of white and maybe just a little bit of foam indication, just swirling around there. And you know what? Last final idea before I end this off. Maybe shoom. There we are. Cut a roll. Few little indications of some highlight. Let's go into mountain mixture. And few subtle indications. And add some water lines. And when that concludes today's painting. I really hope you enjoy this painting. Try this painting out. If you do, send me a photo. I would love to see what you create. I'd like to wish each and every one of you the best of luck, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care, my friends. Goodbye.